Welcome to System Dynamics Online Tutorials. In this session we're going to cover inventory receipts. Under the inventory, within inventory receipts we have an entry, a journal, and an update. Inventory receipts will be used to create a record of stock that's not received through purchasing. And the main purpose of this particular program, receipts entry, is to provide a means to receive inventory for users who have not purchased the Dynamic 3i purchasing module, as well as to aid in setting up a new warehouse, and I want to receive inventory into that warehouse without going through a purchasing step. It's important to note here that the receiving process will not create accounts payable matchable receipts. It will create the general ledger transactions only if a general ledger account is entered. And the way that is controlled is the general ledger in inventory receipts flag within the system flag maintenance must be set to X. In this particular instance it is not, but so it will or will not create a general ledger transaction based on the GL account that I put in here. If no general ledger account is entered and the transactions are required, they must be manually entered in the general ledger journal entry, which is GL 1100. And there are two other methods of creating receipts that create GL transactions. One would be through the purchase order entry with the Dynamic 3i purchasing module and actually do PO receipts. And the other one is adjusting the stock with adjustments entry in the inventory, which is covered in another tutorial for inventory adjustments. Basically, from a receipts entry point of view, we're receiving goods into a specific warehouse location. The system will automatically generate the receipt number that's attached to this. So in the instance of doing a receipt for a particular item, we could do a list of values and do a receipt into our given warehouse. We would define the vendor that we received the goods from. Again, I could do a list of values and call up the vendor that we received this from. The purchase order that, since we don't have Dynamic 3i purchasing module, we may have manually have a purchase order from another system or hand copy. We can put the purchase order number in here for reference later on. Again, general ledger account, the product should be entered at this level here. So the product that we're actually receiving, in this case we'll just pick the first one. It will pull up the description of that and ask me for the quantity that I'm receiving. So if I'm receiving 100 of that item, and the current cost, which whatever the cost is on the PO, will come up. If I want to charge this out to a certain general ledger account, I simply put the general ledger account here and charge that out to the given account number. And it could be any account that we could put there. The system will show, once I commit this, the receipt number 491, and then it's in the process of either printing a hard copy of these things or actually updating the receipt in order to reflect it in the inventories. If I come back after update of this receipt, I can query on the details of the receipt, or in the top log, if I query and I call up all of the receipts, you'll see that the flag beside the detail item will be flagged as update if the receipts update program has been run. If it has not, then in the case of the one that we just entered, it's still sitting there waiting to be updated. And that covers the receipt entry.